Welcome to my channel, Value Old Coins. Today's videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of coins. So let's get it started. The 1981 D Washington quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington quarter series first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1981, the series had been in circulation for nearly half a century, and the design was instantly familiar to Americans. The obverse, front, of the coin prominently features the bust of George Washington, facing left, adapted from the famous 1786 bust, sculpted by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon. Washington is shown in a dignified neoclassical style, his hair tied back in a colonial queue, symbolizing his status as the first president of the United States and a revered figure in American history. Above Washington's portrait, the word Liberty arches across the upper rim in bold capital letters, representing one of the most fundamental principles upon which the United States was founded. To the left of Washington's neck truncation, the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears, reflecting the country's historical and cultural values. Beneath the portrait is the date 1981, marking the year of mintage, while just to the right of the ribbon in Washington's hair is the mint mark D, indicating production at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse, back of the coin carries the long-standing heraldic eagle design created by John Flanagan, which had been in use on the quarter dollar since the series began in 1932. The eagle is depicted with wings spread wide in a posture of vigilance and authority, perched on a bundle of arrows symbolizing readiness for defense, while an olive branch beneath the arrows signifies the nation's preference for peace. Above the eagle's head, the motto, "A pluribus unum," Latin for "out of many one," is prominently inscribed, reinforcing the idea of unity among the diverse states forming the nation. The inscription, "United States of America," curves along the top rim, while "quarter dollar" appears along the bottom rim, clearly stating the denomination. The reverse design is bold, functional, and resistant to wear, qualities essential for coins that must withstand decades of circulation. In terms of technical specifications, the 1981 D quarter is composed of the copper-nickel-clad alloy that became standard for U.S. quarters after the Coinage Act of 1965 eliminated silver from regular circulating coinage. The outer layers are 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a silvery appearance while retaining the durability and cost-effectiveness of base metals. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with 119 tiny grooves for added tactile recognition and anti-counterfeiting purposes. The reeded edge also harks back to the days when coins contained precious metal, as reeding discouraged clipping, shaving off small amounts of valuable metal from the edges. The 1981 D Washington quarter was produced exclusively for circulation, and not for any special collector sets, since the U.S. Mint did not issue standard proof or uncirculated mint sets in that year for general sale due to budget constraints and collector program pauses. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, with an official mintage of approximately 575,833 pieces, making it a very common coin in everyday commerce during the early 1980s. These quarters entered circulation widely and would have been used for everything from vending machines to parking meters, making well-worn examples extremely common today. Because they were made for mass use, many coins exhibit heavy wear, contact marks, and loss of original mint luster after decades of handling. From a historical standpoint, the year 1981 fell during the first year of President Ronald Reagan's administration, a time of significant economic challenges and political shifts in the United States. Inflation and unemployment were issues of national concern, and coinage production was essential to keeping commerce flowing efficiently. The Washington quarter continued to serve as a practical workhorse of the economy, with its familiar imagery, reinforcing themes of leadership, unity, and national pride. In the early 1980s, cash transactions were still dominant, and coins like the 1981 D quarter were indispensable to daily life, making them a tangible link to the economic and cultural fabric of the time. In the numismatic market, the 1981 D quarter holds little premium in circulated grades due to its immense mintage and the survival of countless examples. However, in uncirculated condition, particularly coins graded MS-65 or higher, the 1981 D can attract collector attention, as high-grade examples with full original luster and minimal bag marks are far less common than well-worn circulated pieces. Collectors also prize coins with full strike details, where the eagle's feathers and Washington's hair curls are sharply defined, as these are more challenging to find due to the mint's high-speed production methods in the 1980s. While there are no widely publicized major varieties for the 1981 D quarter, specialists in the Washington Quarter series do look for minor die varieties, such as repunched mint marks, RPMs, or die cracks, which add interest to an otherwise common issue. Today, the 1981 D quarter remains a widely recognized and easily obtainable coin for both beginning collectors and seasoned numismatists, assembling a complete set of Washington quarters. It represents an era just before the coinage design landscape began to shift with the 1999 launch of the State Quarters Program, which brought new reverse designs to the denomination for the first time in decades. As a result, the 1981 D stands as a representative of the last generation of the original Flanagan Eagle quarters, a design that had endured largely unchanged since the Great Depression. For many collectors, it is both a nostalgic reminder of everyday commerce in the late 20th century and an enduring emblem of the stability of American coinage traditions. If you want, I can prepare a full mintage breakdown, strike quality notes, and potential minor variety listings for the 1981 D Washington quarter, which would turn this into an even more complete numismatic reference. That would include images of known RPMs and die cracks. The 1969 D Roosevelt dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series that began in 1946 to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's image was chosen not only because of his historic leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, but also because of his personal connection to the March of Dimes campaign to combat polio. Designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinnock, the dime features on its obverse, front, a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, shown in a realistic mid-20th century style that reflects his calm and determined demeanor. The word liberty is inscribed in large letters along the left rim, partially curving around the back of Roosevelt's head. The national motto, "In God We Trust," is placed horizontally in front of his throat and neck, signifying the country's cultural and religious heritage. Beneath Roosevelt's chin and close to the truncation of his bust is the designer's monogram, JS, for John Sinnock. The date 1969 is struck to the lower right of the bust, and just above it, the D mint mark signifies that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse back design, also by Sinnock, features a central torch, symbolizing liberty, flanked on the left by an olive branch for peace and on the right by an oak branch for strength and independence. The arrangement is clean, balanced, and easy to identify, making it one of the simplest yet most symbolic reverse designs in U.S. coinage. Across the upper rim is the inscription United States of America, while the denomination 1 dime appears in a matching curve at the bottom. The motto, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, is split into 3 parts and positioned horizontally across the central design, with dots separating the words. The fine detail in the torch flames, olive leaves, and oak sprigs is often used by collectors to judge strike quality. Sharp, full details are a sign of a well-struck specimen. Technically, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime was struck in the copper-nickel-clad composition mandated by the Coinage Act of 1965, which replaced the traditional 90% silver alloy used from 1946 through early 1965. The clad structure consists of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a silvery white appearance while maintaining durability and cost efficiency. This post-1965 clad dime weighs 2.27 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with 118 grooves, a traditional anti-counterfeiting measure dating back to the days when precious metal coins were clipped or shaved. The reeding also provides tactile recognition for users and helps distinguish the dime from other small denomination coins. The Denver Mint produced large numbers of 1969 D dimes, with an official mintage of 563,323,170 coins, making it a common circulation issue. These coins were released into the everyday economy at a time when small change was heavily used for vending machines, telephones, and parking meters, meaning that most surviving examples show moderate to heavy wear from decades of handling. Well-worn 1969 D dimes are still occasionally found in circulation today, but pristine mint-state examples are scarcer due to contact marks and abrasions acquired during mass production and distribution. From a historical perspective, the 1969 D dime was minted during a period of economic and cultural change in the United States. The late 1960s were marked by the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the first moon landing preparations. Coinage production was stable, but still adjusting to the relatively new copper-nickel-clad system, which had been adopted just 4 years earlier. Collectors at the time were still adapting to the absence of silver in circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and while some initially resisted the change, the clad coins soon became a normal part of American pocket change. In numismatics, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime is generally considered a common date in circulated grades, but gains collector interest in higher mint state grades, especially MS66 and MS67 Full Torch, FT. The Full Torch designation, used by grading services like NGC, means that both the vertical lines in the torch's flame and the horizontal bands on the torch handle are fully struck with no flattening, indicating exceptional strike quality. Because high-speed minting often left these features weakly defined, finding a 1969 D with full, sharp detail is more challenging than the large mintage might suggest. Coins with bright original mint luster and minimal bag marks can command solid premiums in the modern market. Era varieties are another collecting angle for this date. While there are no widely recognized major double dies or repunched mint marks for the 1969 D dime, specialists search for minor die cracks, die clashes, and off-center strikes, which add character and value. Since clad coins can show striking weakness or die wear more readily than silver coins, sharp, problem-free examples are favored by registry-set collectors. In today's hobby, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime remains an accessible and historically meaningful coin that bridges the early years of the clad era and the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt's presence on U.S. currency. It is a staple in Roosevelt dime date and mint mark collections, serves as an affordable entry point for new collectors, and stands as a reminder of the mint's adaptation to modern coinage technology in the post-silver era. High-grade survivors, particularly with full torch details, demonstrate that even common coins can hold significant numismatic appeal when preserved in superb condition. The 2009 Lincoln Cent is a special issue in the long-running U.S. 1-cent series that began with the Lincoln Wheat Cent in 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 2009 edition marks another important milestone, the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, 1809-2009, and the 150th anniversary of his birth year coinciding with his political legacy. This coin belongs to a short-lived commemorative redesign series authorized by the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005. Unlike regular Lincoln cents that carry the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse, introduced in 1959, the 2009 cent was issued with 4 different reverse designs, each representing a distinct chapter of Lincoln's life. All 4 varieties share the same obverse portrait of Lincoln and the same inscriptions. "In God we trust," centered above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 2009 to the right. Beneath the date appears the mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for proof coins from San Francisco. The obverse bust, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has remained on the Lincoln cent for over a century, making it the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. The reverse designs, rotated through the year in order of Lincoln's life stages, were the result of a collaborative effort between the U.S. Mint's engraving team and artists from the Artistic Infusion program. The first reverse, Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky, depicts a simple log cabin, referencing Lincoln's humble beginnings in Hardin County, Kentucky, now LaRue County, where he was born in 1809. The second reverse, Formative Years, in Indiana, shows a young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, a nod to his self-education and hard-working rural upbringing between 1816 and 1830. The third reverse, Professional Life in Illinois, presents Lincoln as a young lawyer standing in front of the Springfield state capitol, symbolizing his rise in law and politics between 1830 and 1861. The fourth and final reverse, Presidency in Washington, D.C., features the partially constructed U.S. Capitol dome as it appeared during Lincoln's presidency in the Civil War years, representing the unfinished work of uniting the nation. All reverses include the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and 1 cent, with the designs rendered in fine relief to capture historical detail. Technically, the 2009 Lincoln cents struck for circulation are made of the standard copper-plated zinc alloy introduced in mid-1982, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, giving them the familiar bright coppery appearance when new. These coins weigh 2.5 grams, have a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and feature a plain, smooth edge. The proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint for collectors, were made with the traditional pre-1982 bronze composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, to further honor Lincoln's centennial coinage history. Proofs also exhibit mirrored fields and frosted devices due to multiple strikes under high pressure. Philadelphia and Denver produced billions of circulation strike coins, each mint releasing all 4 reverse designs, while San Francisco issued proof versions in much smaller quantities for inclusion in annual proof sets. The 2009 cent series holds historical significance because it is the last U.S. circulating coin to feature multiple reverse designs in a single year for a single denomination, and it bridges 2 eras of Lincoln coinage: the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, 1959-2008, and the new Lincoln Shield Reverse introduced in 2010. It also serves as a compact visual biography of Lincoln, offering Americans a chronological depiction of his life's journey. From a production standpoint, 2009 saw a sharp drop in overall coinage due to the economic recession following the 2008 financial crisis. This meant far fewer coins were struck compared to earlier years, making uncirculated rolls and bags of 2009 cents somewhat more sought after by collectors, especially in high mint state grades. In the numismatic market, circulated 2009 cents generally hold only face value due to large mintages, but uncirculated examples with strong strikes and clean copper-red surfaces are valued higher, particularly if graded MS66 or MS67RD by professional services. Full red luster is key to premium value, as copper coins quickly tone to brown when exposed to air and handling. Proof coins, especially in PR69 DCAM or PR70 DCAM deep cameo grades, are popular among modern collectors. Certain doubled die obverse, DDO and double die reverse DDR varieties have been discovered for some 2009 issues, with the most dramatic ones commanding significant premiums. Packaging errors, such as incorrect reverse coins in mint sets, also attract variety collectors. The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial cents also carry symbolic and educational weight. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum" frame Lincoln's life story within the ideals of unity, faith, and perseverance. The fact that 4 distinct designs were released into general circulation allowed millions of Americans to encounter history in their pocket change, sparking renewed public interest in Lincoln's legacy. For this reason, many collectors, even those focusing on earlier series like the wheat cents, consider the 2009 set a must-have for a complete Lincoln cent timeline. Today, the 2009 Lincoln cents remain an attractive modern collectible because they are both affordable and historically meaningful. In uncirculated rolls, original U.S. mint sets, or high-grade certified examples, they retain long-term appeal, especially as more worn coins disappear from circulation. They represent a rare moment when the U.S. Mint used circulating coinage as a storytelling medium, connecting Americans not only with a president, but also with the broader narrative of the nation's history. The coin in question is the 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar, a commemorative circulating issue struck by the United States Mint to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence. Although it bears the dual date 1776-1976, all coins of this type were actually struck in 1975 and 1976. The U.S. Mint did not issue any half-dollars dated 1975. The 2000 Year of Freedom phrase is a symbolic description of the coin's theme, the celebration of 2 centuries since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and is not part of the official design inscription. This half-dollar was part of a 3-coin bicentennial circulating set, along with the quarter and dollar, that featured special reverse designs replacing the usual motifs for that 2-year period. The obverse of the bicentennial half-dollar retains Gilroy Roberts' left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, first introduced in 1964 after his assassination. The design presents Kennedy in a stately profile with the word "Liberty" arching above his head, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," divided on either side of his neck truncation. In God on the left and We Trust on the right. Beneath the portrait is the dual date 1776-1976, marking the nation's bicentennial and replacing the single-year date found on regular issues. The mint mark, such as D for Denver, P for Philadelphia coins of this era have no mint mark, or S for San Francisco, appears just below Kennedy's neck truncation, above the last 2 digits of the date. The reverse design for the bicentennial half-dollar was created by Seth G. Huntington and depicts Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the historic building where the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776, and where the U.S. Constitution was later debated and signed. The building is shown in fine architectural detail, with its clock tower, central hall, and symmetrical wings carefully engraved to reflect its 18th century appearance. Above the image arcs the inscription "United States of America," while the denomination half-dollar is centered below. The motto "E Pluribus Unum" is placed in small letters above the building's roofline. Beneath the hall appears the inscription 200 Years of Freedom, a phrase unique to the half-dollar in the bicentennial series, emphasizing the theme of liberty and national heritage. From a technical standpoint, most bicentennial half-dollars struck for general circulation were made of the standard copper nickel-clad composition introduced in 1971 for the Kennedy series. Outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. These Coins weigh 11.34 grams, have a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, a thickness of 2.15 millimeters, and a reeded edge. However, special collector versions were also issued in 40% silver clad, containing outer layers of 80% silver and 20% copper bonded to a 79% copper and 21% silver core, resulting in a net silver content of 0.36169 troy ounces per coin. These silver-clad issues were sold in proof and uncirculated bicentennial silver sets through the U.S. Mint and bear the S Mint mark for San Francisco. The 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half was minted in massive quantities to ensure wide public availability. The Philadelphia and Denver mints together produced hundreds of millions of copper-nickel-clad examples, while San Francisco struck both clad proofs and silver-clad proofs, along with uncirculated silver versions. Due to the high mintage, most circulated examples hold only face value, though uncirculated and proof specimens are collected for their historical appeal. High-grade coins certified MS-66 or higher can bring premiums, especially with flawless surfaces and strong luster. The silver-clad issues, by contrast, carry value both for their precious metal content and as limited collector items, especially in PR69 DCAM, deep cameo grades for proofs. Historically, the bicentennial coinage program represented a rare moment when circulating U.S. coins were used to celebrate a national event with special designs. The choice of Independence Hall for the half-dollar reverse tied the coin directly to the birthplace of American democracy, making it a symbolic artifact of the nation's 200th birthday. Public enthusiasm was high, with many Americans saving examples as keepsakes, often removing them from circulation soon after release. This tendency to hoard bicentennial coins explains why even today, nearly 50 years later, uncirculated examples are relatively easy to find. The bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar remains a popular collectible because it is both affordable and historically significant. For many Americans, it recalls a period of national pride and celebration, as well as the mint's bold departure from its usual designs. Collectors often seek to assemble complete bicentennial-type sets in both clad and silver formats, and the half-dollar, with its Independence Hall reverse and 200 Years of Freedom inscription, is a centerpiece of such collections. In proof or silver-clad form, the coin combines artistic design, historical symbolism, and tangible value in precious metal, making it one of the most enduring modern U.S. commemorative issues. The United States of America $1 Rutherford B. Hayes coin is part of the ambitious presidential $1 coin program launched in 2007 by the United States Mint under the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005. This coin, released in 2011, commemorates Rutherford Burchard Hayes, the 19th President of the United States, whose single term ran from March 4, 1877 to March 4, 1881. The obverse of the coin carries a finely engraved right-facing portrait of Hayes, presented in a highly detailed, realistic style that reflects his dignified demeanor and 19th-century presidential gravitas. Around the upper edge of the obverse, his name, Rutherford B. Hayes, is inscribed in bold capital letters. The motto, "In God We Trust," restored to the obverse of the coin after earlier controversy when it was placed only on the edge lettering in the program's initial issues, is clearly visible. Beneath the portrait, the legend 19th President 1877-1881 provides immediate historical reference to his term of office, making the coin both an artistic and educational artifact. The reverse is identical across the presidential $1 series, featuring a forward-angled depiction of the Statue of Liberty by U.S. Mint engraver Don Everhart. Liberty's torch is raised proudly, and her face is shown in partial profile, with fine detailing in the crown, robe folds, and flame. The inscriptions United States of America arc along the top rim, while the denomination 1 appears to the right of the figure. The design is bold, intended for strong visibility even after years of circulation, and the reverse's unchanging style allows the obverse portraits of each president to serve as the primary focus of the series. The reverse also deliberately omits the date and mint mark, which, along with the secondary motto, E pluribus unum, are instead incuse-lettered on the coin's edge, a distinctive feature of this program. On this particular coin, the edge reads 2011 E pluribus unum, P, or 2011 E pluribus unum, D, depending on whether the coin was struck at the Philadelphia or Denver Mint. Proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint, bear the S mint mark. The coin's composition is a manganese brass-clad alloy, 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel, which gives it a golden appearance. While visually striking, this is not precious metal. The color was chosen both for aesthetics and to help distinguish it from quarters and other denominations. The coin measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, 2.0 millimeters thick, weighs 8.1 grams, and has a smooth, plain edge apart from the incuse inscriptions. The U.S. Mint used high-speed presses capable of edge lettering the coins in a separate step after striking, a method that allowed for variety but also led to collectible mint errors, such as doubled lettering, missing lettering, or inverted orientation of inscriptions, that can significantly enhance a coin's desirability among collectors. Historically, the coin honors a president who entered office under one of the most disputed elections in U.S. history, the election of 1876. Hayes's victory over Samuel J. Tilden came only after a specially convened electoral commission awarded him 185 electoral votes to Tilden's 184, following intense political wrangling and the removal of federal troops from the South as part of the Compromise of 1877. This compromise effectively ended Reconstruction and had profound and long-lasting consequences for civil rights in America. During his presidency, Hayes advocated for civil service reform, fought against the spoils system, and promoted racial equality in principle, though his policies often met with mixed results. He vetoed the Bland-Allison Act, which sought to restore silver coinage on grounds of maintaining the gold standard, but his veto was overridden by Congress. Hayes also made a point of not seeking a second term, viewing the presidency as a role of temporary stewardship rather than a lifelong pursuit. From a numismatic standpoint, the 2011 Rutherford B. Hayes presidential $1 coin was released in circulation rolls, mint-sewn bags, and special collector sets. Philadelphia and Denver produced the circulation strike coins in the tens of millions, while San Francisco struck proof coins for inclusion in annual proof sets. Because the general public rarely used dollar coins in daily transactions, large quantities went directly into storage or into collectors' hands without significant circulation wear. As a result, most Hayes dollars are readily available in mint state condition. The golden surface tends to show contact marks easily, so coins graded MS-66 or higher by professional services can be slightly scarcer. Proof coins display deep mirrored fields and frosted reliefs, making the Statue of Liberty and Hayes's portrait appear sharply defined and dramatically contrasted. Error varieties are a notable aspect of this series. For the Hayes dollar, collectors have reported missing edge lettering, partial edge lettering, and doubled edge inscriptions, all of which occurred during the edge lettering step. In some cases, the inscription E pluribus unum appears, inverted in relation to the obverse, a variety that is collectible though relatively common for the series. These anomalies can bring premiums, especially in uncirculated condition. Additionally, any coin with strong luster, minimal abrasions, and well-centered crisp strikes commands attention among set builders. The coin's educational role is underscored by the deliberate inclusion of historical dates and mottos. E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, speaks to the unity of the states forming a single nation, while in God we trust reflects the nation's long-standing motto and public sentiment. The year 2011 marks its release into circulation and collector channels. Together, these inscriptions and design choices turn what could have been a simple commemorative into a blend of artistry, history, and symbolism, circulating reminders of the nation's leadership and values. Although the Rutherford B. Hayes dollar is not rare in the conventional sense, its significance within the broader presidential $1 series and its connection to a pivotal moment in American history make it an appealing acquisition for both casual collectors and dedicated numismatists. When assembled with the complete run of presidential $1 coins, it forms part of a compact but comprehensive portrait gallery of American executive history in coin form, a modern series that, despite limited public circulation, has become a fixture in U.S. Mint numismatic output. If you'd like, I can prepare a complete mintage chart for the 2011 Rutherford B. Hayes dollar, broken down by mint, PDS, and include known error types, so you'd have both the historical narrative and